Okay, this is closer certification. Today I passed my life insurance exam. We're testing a bunch of different verticals. Life insurance was easy. I failed the first time, got it the second, 72 out of 70, and stayed up all night and studied for 2 hours. No practice exams. So today was my first day kind of work, making what we would consider unlicensed calls, backgrounds from in real estate. That means that you're just qualifying opportunities, talking to them on the high level, following scripts, and your goal is just to book a higher level appointment for a shadowing of a consult, right? So today I was given 41 leads to reach out to. They were aged purchase leads. I dialed through those on a double dial. That was a 64 dials made, 14 live contacts, which is when I spoke to someone and I booked one appointment for tomorrow. So most of the time you're catching these people out of the blue, and it's all like that. So the answer rate, 34.15%. The booking rate, which is the number of appointments booked on the live answers, is 1 out of 14 or 7.14%. The total session, manually dialing like this, and we're double dialing, no voicemails, no texts unless we were asked, was 62 minutes. So we made about 1 dial per minute on average. Some are going to be longer, but that was everything. So double dials were used for no answers and suspected bad numbers. One appointment was scheduled for next day based on her request. No SMS follow-up. Any answer rates over 20% are going to be great. And this was 34%. Phenomenal first round. 3 to 5 is not the best time to call. It's normally in the evenings or mornings. So I'm very, very happy with the answer rates on this first data list. In terms of another one as well, there is a list. There was one on, it's called AI-powered outbound for insurance by Dina.ai. They did a large multinational insurance company's outbound dials. They had a very, very, very similar funnel to mine. Outbound dials, 53,436 dials right now. I don't know if those are 1 or 2 dials or whatever it is. That could have been 1 or multiple dials. Every time you go back through, you're able to push your answer rate up. So traditionally, 3 to 4 pass-throughs is going to push your answer rate. It's the point of diminishing returns. But like my first call through that, 41 calls reduced down to 14 of them, 13 people that kind of said they weren't. But so you kind of categorize those. So each time you go through a list, the number of the quality is going to go down because you're reaching those and you're pulling out those people that answered not interested. I didn't ask for that. You have the wrong number. Whatever the call outcomes are, they're kind of coded like that, but they still answered. Either way, if we get a person that's a live answer, in terms of them, they had a 35% answer rate. So on those 53,536 calls, they had 18,703 AI-led conversations on live contacts. They had 1,834 qualified leads identified, which is around 9.8%. So their live contact rate was 35. They got 1,800 on about 18,000, so just under that. Mine was 7.14. Theirs was 9.8 with a 90% call classification accuracy. Now, mine's 100% accurate because I made every single one of them. There's no mistakes made. There's no monitoring because all of them were done. So the tech stack that was used on that was generative AI for large natural outbound conversation simulating ML-based lead identification engine to label prospects in real time. Now, what AI is going to do faster is the integrations, the call notes, everything like that. So it might move a little bit quicker than me. It might be able to do it more efficiently. And that's the point of getting these lists down. When you test these lists, you're testing the scripts, you're testing this, you're training everything. And if you're able to outbound do that, it's really good. This is one of the stacks, right? Like depending on these types of leads, they might be 50 cents up to $5. It could be $8. So for 40 leads, that might be, let's just say $4 a lead. That is $160. Now, if I book one of those appointments, depending on what it ends up being, we look at the ROI on that. So you compare different call lists, you compare your time, and you see if it's worth it. So if I paid $160 for one identified lead, if I pay the same and they're inbound and they're high intent and they're live transfers and non-shared leads, then you have to compare different sources to see how you do. So this is one. These are age leads, again, just depending on your budgets. There was the outcomes of those were 10% improvement on connection rate, which My connect rate is almost identical to theirs, and I haven't gone back through it. I'm sure I'll have a higher live contact rate. They had a reliable lead scoring without human review, which is great. Mine, if you go through them and listen to those calls or sample them, or you have a VA do a lot of that, and if all the outcomes are pretty accurate, then you're in good shape. You would sample a larger pool, or you might listen to some of those contacts, depending on, like, you're looking for outliers, like a 20-second call that was coded as an appointment. You're looking at that, right? Sharper focus on qualified leads by the human sales team. So side by side, the live contact rates, mine was the first pass through on a bad time. 34% is a phenomenal answer rate. Qualified leads, that's intent. They had 9.8%. I had 7.14. They didn't have duration. Mine was 62 minutes. Theirs is a double dial automated. Mine was a manual double dial. SMS and text follow-ups was not mentioned. Ours was not used except for one text that a guy asked for. So traditionally, I don't text, I don't email, I don't do anything. You sell over the phone, you reach them, and that's it. So from all of that, the overall insights are, despite being manual, my contact rates are almost identical. The biggest performance gap is qualified intent, which AI increased by removing friction and constantly labeling prospects. So the organization and integration and tech stacks is going to be much quicker than what I can do manually. I have notes all the way across the board. I can import it back in there and have it. But what you're looking for is pretty consistent things. This is a LinkedIn article that it was done by, and that was Bisterian. This was back in May of 2025. So Voice AI is making these. They're doing them. These are unlicensed assistants. I would say overall, very good tech stack. There's lots of options out here. And overall, I would rate the life insurance calls that I made and the list broker that we did phenomenal. Almost identical to the best real estate data that I got, that I called hundreds of thousands of people on dialers. If I used dialers, it would have been a lot quicker. It would have been a little bit more difficult to double dial. So the goal is to compare side by side AI versus a 12 plus year veteran in sales, right? And sales and outcomes. And we got them almost identical. They might be a little bit better. It's hard to say, right? Unless you listen to the calls. But at the end of the day, what you're looking for is consistency. Can AI achieve a similar result as someone with 12 years of experience? And if so, then how do we scale, right? Do we buy older leads? Do we buy younger leads? What do we do? So overall, that's my review of today. That's my first day. I just passed my exam today. And again, we're doing what AI would do. I didn't say that I was doing live recordings because I'm not. So I'd like to, if they had that high of an answer rate and also did live recordings, that's a really good outcome as well. So the call outcomes are very good. I'm not sure. It's hard to say how they did, but from what I'm seeing here, phenomenal results for my first day here. And so as you guys are getting into remote high ticket sales or low ticket or whatever you want to call it, right? Insurance is insurance. Life insurance is life insurance. You can sell B2C, B2B. You could sell final expense and have higher win rates. You can have inbound or outbound. You can integrate AI or not. It's your whole funnel. But what you're looking to do is come right in and get straight to the top and listen to the call results and see how they do. So overall, I'm very, very happy with the lead quality. Very, very accurate data. First time through. That's Eastern time that I'm calling 3 to 5, and we had a lot of good call results. So I would say that I'm very happy with the overall results. Thanks for watching, guys. Life insurance, insurance in general. This is virtual over the phone. What I noticed was, these are selling to a little bit older people. So I can't hear you. Let me put my hearing aid in. Like, can you slow down? Some of that, and these policies are a little bit less. So I can't move as quick. So if I target a high income earning tier 1 market like New York, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles, Nashville, right? I might have a lower win rate, but those policies might be much larger, $200 to $300 premiums and way bigger payouts. So for me, I did it in 1 hour. It's nothing. I could do that in my sleep. I got one appointment. Typically, you're going to have like a fall through rate, typically 70%. So if I want to get, you have to build your sales funnel, and your goal is to focus on apps. So my goal on tomorrow's call is going to be to get an app with the sales rep that I'm shadowing and see how he does. So overall, that would be an example of a role play. This is an I do it, we do it, you do it. That's if you're in the vertical. Life insurance is one of the verticals that we do, even though it's not super high ticket. It can be depending on who you're calling, what list you're buying, the average payouts on those lists, inbound or outbound, live transfer, shared or not shared, market and income. There's a lot of variables that come down to that stuff. Overall, I'm very, very satisfied though with what I achieved today. And again, this is like training. So we're trying to feature some of the different verticals that we did. This is a regulated industry, so I have to get licensed. I get licensed in 2 weeks, not even. I took the exam twice. Again, I could do it in my sleep. So I think it's important to have people that are hands-on. And we would turn that over to AI and say, hey, here you go. But if you're not at that level yet, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to do that. So you might want to have higher quality or higher intent leads that pay out larger sums. You have to decide if outbound calling manually like this is for you. I was calling in the state of Florida. I'm licensed in the state of Florida. That's where I just passed my exam. I just paid for everything, all my numbers and everything like that. And I also got my fingerprints and everything. And I'm also, I have a Florida number. So there's a lot of better tech stacks that go out, double dials, rotating phone lines, calling 50 people at once. And that hour that I just spent is the point of, if I spent whatever it was, $300 to get that, is the outcome going to match? If I'm not happy with the ROI, right? I'm hustling, paying for it, right? But AI doesn't cost that much to do outbound. So you got to look at this all as like a return on investment, low hanging fruit, and seeing how you do. Overall, though, very, very good. I'm sure AI, my results are almost identical, which is a great sign for AI integrated outbound dialing for unlicensed sales reps. I don't have those call logs from this company called Dina.ai. And I'm guessing they definitely spent a lot more than what I did, because there's a lot of automated and integration. So I think there's like you want to kind of be facilitated, but this was a 1 hour session, right? So that would be an example of, you could use that one-on-one session if that's something that's important to you. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, keep up with our channel. Reach out if you have any questions. If you guys want to get into high ticket remote sales or any kind of sales that you're earning $200,000, we're doing things like this. If I make $500 a day on $250,000 on 250 working days a year, that would be $125,000 on what I did today. So from what I'm seeing, I would probably switch up the leads that I have to higher volume, better quality, higher premiums that pay out more than $500, right? $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 minimums. I might try to submit those types. From looking at the initial funnel, I don't know if age is for me. I'm past the days of like old dialing. If I was getting into life insurance, that would be my takeaways right away. And I would say that to that person too, and say, let me know. Do some research, come back next week, and let us know what you're doing. So overall, if you're interested in doing these things, please reach out. I think life insurance, B2B, B2C, inbound, outbound, there's a lot of different ones. It's an amazing thing. I think when you're looking at the top producers, they're doing something right, right? They're definitely getting an ROI on ad spend. Whatever it is, if you have nothing, then do what I just did, which is spend $80 or $100, $200. If you don't have that, then you're in the wrong vertical, but you can't start with nothing. So talk to your friends, get a loan, do whatever you need to get out of your situation is what I would recommend.